We're going to talk about some insulation. This is the corner that I did in a early video showing the sub-slab insulation, which was 2-inch XPS foam that rolled up the wall. So there's 2 inches of foam underneath, which is R10 under the sub-slab. And then there's 2 inches of foam behind all of this. And then there's 4 inches of dense packed cellulose. So the foam is R10, the cellulose, 4 inches of R3.5, so that's 14 plus the 10 is R24 in the basement walls. And then on the box sill, there's a minimum of 4 inches of closed cell foam, which is around an R28. But all the way around the whole box sill is all spray foam, and then everything else is dense pack for the basement. Now up here on the first floor, there's our 6.6 exterior insulation in the Zip R, and then there's a full 8 inches of dense pack cellulose in front of that. So the 3.5 times 8 is our 28 plus the 6 is our 34. So the nominal insulation on the walls is R34. And then again, up on the box sill, minimum of 4 inches of spray foam all the way around. All right, up on the second floor, you can see it's all done up here. This, still need to put the vapor retarder on here, but the wall conditions are the same as far as the R34. This is dense packed cellulose. So this is 18 inches of insulation, but it's all the way through with minimal thermal bridging. So that's going to be, nominal insulation on this is R63. And then it's going to be the same up there. So that's all R63. That's all. The ceiling is all loose fill cellulose. So there's 18 to 20 inches up there. And then this is dense packed cellulose on the slopes at a R63. All right, so in the master bedroom here, wanted to kind of take this wall as an example of the actual heat loss through the wall. So this, as I said, the nominal insulation value in the exterior walls is R34. The actual R value of this entire wall is actually only R21, but let me explain why. So this is an 18-foot wall. It's 9 feet tall, which gives us 162 square feet. There's also a 3x5 window in it, so the window is 15 square feet. And if we figure 20% of the framing on this wall, we'll figure 30 square feet of framing, 117 square feet of insulation, and 15 square feet of window. So, done a bunch of math here. I'm going to kind of explain 3 different walls. So the typical wall built in the area is fiberglass insulation with 1/2-inch plywood on the outside. And if it had a typical 3x5 window in it, at a U factor of 0.29, which is actually the code minimum at this point, we would call that an R21 wall, because the insulation, the nominal value of the insulation in the wall would be 6 inches of fiberglass, which is labeled R21. So we'd call that an R21 wall. But when you back out the window and the framing, the actual R value of an R21 wall is only 10.2. So now most people are building walls with R21 insulation in the cavity plus R6 on the exterior. So there'd be continuous insulation, 1 inch of polyiso, which would be about an R6. And if you figured that, so R6 outside plus R21. And if you figured a little bit better window at a 0.23 U factor, the actual R value of that wall would be 14.92. So even though somebody might say it's a R27 wall, it's actually the performance of the wall, including the window and framing, would only be R14.92. Now this wall is 8-inch thick, so the framing is 8 inches thick. The studs are offset, and they're not connected, so there's no thermal bridging between interior and exterior. So the framing on this helps a lot, as well as the window is an U factor of 0.15. So this same setup wall in the current configuration, the nominal insulation, we'll call it, is R34, because it's 28 plus 6. But the total value of the wall, including the framing and the window, is only R21.73. It's only R21, but when you compare it to what other walls are being built as, instead of an R10, it's an R21. Or instead of an R14, it's an R21. So the effective value of the wall is much better. Now, when you get to a full wall like this, which is the same size, and you back out the window, it's much, much better.